Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassie, also known as KnittaCass. You can find me on YouTube as KnittaCass Creates, on Ravelry as KnittaCass, and on Instagram as KnittaCass16. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about projects that I'm working on, patterns that I'm drooling over. Once in a while you'll see my attempts at crochet, which is not very great at the moment. Some family life on a farm in Vermont, and a spice of mental health. So go ahead and grab your favorite beverage. I, of course, have my Pepsi. That is my morning coffee. And grab your favorite project you're working on, and let's get started. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're a new viewer, well, welcome to the channel. So first of all is finished objects. I have absolutely no finished objects, which is not unusual, especially since I am now trying to do a podcast once a week. I have more time to knit lately, and I'm knitting a little bit faster because I have less distractions. However, I have kind of like squirrel syndrome with my projects that I'm working on, and I am trying to do like 1,000 projects at once, and it's not very productive, but it is making me happy, so I will roll with it until I get sick of it, and then I'll try to be a monotonous knitter, maybe like 1 to 3 projects. Like, I can't just do one. And so let's get started with my WIP. Last year my goal was to knit 12 dishcloths. I am currently working on a washcloth. It is called Welted Leaf. Let's see if I can find it. This is what it, let's see if I can do it. This is what it looks like. And it is another pattern by Faith Schmidt. If you watched a couple podcasts ago, I did finish a washcloth, and it was called Ridged Feather. It was very beautiful, very easy to follow. And I am getting these washcloth patterns from a book I got from Knit Picks. It is called Kitchen Kaleidoscope, and I only knit one. So this year I'm trying again. I have 1.5 washcloths going, and it's now February 1st, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I got a pretty good jump. Hopefully I don't lose my washcloth knitting mojo. Made much progress, so it's really not worth showing it. But I do have Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth. It is a pattern you can find on Ravelry. It's super easy. It starts from one corner, and you do some increases till halfway, and then you do some decreases. It's got some nice little eyelet holes on the center. We have several of those that I have made in the past, and or that was gifted to us. And it's just a really neat way to do something really quick. I've been using it as my basketball knitting, and at first I was doing a really good job, and the last few teams that my boys have been playing have been really great, and the games have been so intense that I haven't even been able to knit on them. This is the yarn that I'm using for my washcloth currently. This is my progress so far. It is, once again, it is the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth. It is by Sugar and Cream, and the colorway is always a number, so I do not have the band with me because I didn't think that it was very important. What else do I have going on? I have the rose covered cage mitts. I'm about here-ish on the pattern, and I'm halfway through the rose. Super excited. They are turning out fabulous. I'm hoping to finish the thumb gussets and kind of put that on waste yarn and finish the mitt. I'm hoping to do that today. I'm just super excited to have them done. It is a pattern by Dragon Horde Yarn Designs. I'm a huge fan of her yarn and her designs. This is a pattern kit that I bought almost 2 years ago. It is inspired by the Court of Thrones and Roses book series, which is one of my favorite book series. I'm hoping to start the left hand over this weekend, which would be super exciting. I don't have any plans this weekend, which is the first time in quite some time, so I'm very excited to just spend some time with my family and get cozy on the couch. We'll probably watch a lot of movies. In the Love and Stitches membership run by Nitty Natty, we are doing a colorwork mal for the month of February. She did say that WIPs could count, and because in the past I have not been very efficient with color work and my flows have been not always the greatest, I didn't want to feel rushed, which is why I had started early. So this is living in my Sock Week bag. This was a play on Shark Week. It is Sock Week run by Nitty Natty every summer for the week of Shark Week. And she coordinates with different vendors. I think this was Mountain Stitchers or Stitches, but I will put it on the screen down below because I don't want to not give credit to the one that it belongs to. This is my rose covered cage mitts. I think they're turning out pretty great. My floats are pretty good. The first color work project that I worked on, I was still a very novice knitter. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't know anything really about holding floats and making them not too tight. So it was stockings for my kids made out of bulky yarn. There's another problem. I was using way too small of a needle. I don't remember what size needle I was using, and their stockings are like cinched together and just absolutely ridiculous. One of them this year still wanted to hang it up because they still think it's exciting that I made it for them, but every time I see it, I'm a little bit embarrassed. But then I just have to remind myself that I have learned so much since then and be proud of that. I'm also working on my cabled sweater for our cabled mall in January. I did do a hat for the Love and Stitches membership. We were doing the Multnomah Falls. I have no idea if I said that right. I've been struggling with that name. Despite how easy it's spelled, I just can't seem to wrap my head around how to say it. So I did finish that hat. I just got the pom-pom in the mail yesterday, so I will be putting the pom-pom on today and mailing it out probably tomorrow. And then Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, and I don't remember the next lady's name, but she is Sock Witchery. I just started watching her podcast. So Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady and that lady from the Sock Witchery podcast are running a not cabled sweater, but a cabled garment make-along. It started in January. It will go until June. The requirements is that it needs to be a garment. Sock Witchery had clarified yesterday that it means her definition of a garment is that it must have a neck hole. She said it could be a swancho, poncho, or like a sweater, tee, as long as it had cabled, and it needed to have a significant amount of cables. So I'm just starting mine. If you've been here for a while, you're probably sick of seeing this and listening to me say that I haven't started it yet. But I did do a swatch. I did get gauge after a couple needle changes. Today, I'm setting myself up for high hopes. Probably not today, but the next time I pick up this project, it looks like I'm about ready to start the saddles. This pattern is Monte Rio. It is a pattern by Stephanie Talent. I am using Snuggle Puff from Knit Picks. It is called the Puffling colorway. It's super soft and has a little bit of a halo effect. And I do not have much to show you. And of course it's all funky. That's what I have so far, so hopefully the next time, that's what I've got so far, so hopefully the next time that I'm on here speaking with you, that I will have some more progress. I'm also knitting with my friend. I'll preface that. My friend Alana and I had decided that we would knit the Brioche Heart hat by Jonathan Tallow. We had agreed to start date. For some reason I think something happened and I didn't start on that night. We started the day after and I was very confused by the beginning of the pattern. Apparently you don't start in the round, so the way he was wording stuff would make sense if I understood that it was flat knitting, but I was thinking it was in the round and that we would be knitting on the inside, so I was like hesitant. So I did pick her brain. Of course I picked her brain when she finished. She is insanely fast at knitting and hers looks amazing. I can't remember her exact colorways, but I know there's a green in there and it's fabulous. I'll ask her if it's okay if I put a picture of her hat in here because I just think it's great. And I have done like the cast on row and joined it in the round, so I need to take that off. The needles that I have available have this ginormous cable, not realistic. So I did buy a size 3 and a size 5 and I will show those in the acquisitions, and I will try to fix this week. Okay, so 2 washcloths, a cast on row of a hat, a rose-covered cage mitts, and I did start the pumpkin spice latte socks. I think it's by Twin Stitches Designs. If I'm wrong, I will put the other maker on the bottom. I am always a little bit nervous that I'm going to give credit to the wrong person and or not give credit to someone who deserves it. So it's in this really nice orange tweed. This is a yarn from Fiber Stash Yarns. It is kind of picking on people around pumpkin spice season and how everyone is kind of obsessed with pumpkin spice, and that doing so is a basic bitch thing to do. So this yarn colorway is called Basic Bitch. Once again, it is by Fiber Stash Yarn. They are my favorite yarn company in Vermont. I love supporting small businesses. I have met, like I said, I'm not sure if it's the owner, but I've met the same person 3 times. She's always fabulous, very easy to talk to, and not pushy with sales, and willing to willing to answer a lot of questions. So this is all I have so far. I have the cuff, and I have the progress keeper that you are continuously seeing by DK Serving. That is it for my WIPs. So for patterns I'm drooling over, I definitely want to get the brioche hat on the needles correctly today. I am drooling over everything in my Make 9 since it's been a couple weeks. I will put the picture up here. I'm also curious to do some DK weight socks. That seems to be a trend, and I think it would be super warm. In Vermont, it has been super, super cold. We have had temperatures below 0 where with the wind chill, it's like -20. And then we had one day, lucky us, where it was actually -20. I think it was 20 or 21. And that's without a wind chill. Absolutely ridiculous, super cold. Today, as you can tell, I am in a tank top because it is like 38 degrees and it feels like a heat wave. With that being said, I think the DK socks will be very appreciated with this cold weather. And I do want to mention that when I woke up this morning, the sun was out. That's the first time that the sun has been out when I woke up for a very long time. So I do think we're headed towards the season where we will have more sunlight, and I am super excited. That brings me to acquisitions. I have 2 16-inch, because I didn't have 12-inch, needles by Likey. It is made with driftwood. Usually the wood needles that I use are bamboo, and I'm not a fan because they do kind of chip and get little grooves in it and it catches the yarn. So far this has been super smooth. This is a size 3. I also have the size 5, and that's what I'm currently working on the grandma's favorite dishcloth with. I'm using it on the Likey size 5. I also got some sugar and cream dishcloth yarns. It is also by Sugar and Cream. This is, that's showing true to color. And this one, oh, they do have names. Shoot. I don't know if I'll be able to tell you the name of the other one, but this one is Swimming Pool, and I couldn't agree more. Then there's this super fun one. This caught my eye as soon as I was down in the aisle, and I was having a really bad day, and I really try not to do retail therapy, but these were on sale at Joann Fabrics, so I got 5 of them. This one is called Psychedelic. It's also Sugar and Cream. Where's my other one? I have some that are MIA. If I find them, I'll put them in here. If not, I'll try to do it in the next podcast. I do not have the ball band for this one, so I have no idea what its color name is. That's okay. And that is all I have for acquisitions. In terms of books, I had already finished Beasts of Prey towards the beginning of the month. I wasn't really impressed. There was no character development, and it's pretty predictable. So I started The Devouring Gray just because the sequel had an amazing cover. It is called A Deck of Omens. The Devouring Gray, like, far past what my expectations were. There was intense character development. There was some secrets that were happening. There was some kind of relationship tensions brewing, and it landed on a cliffhanger that could have been like the end. Like, it was one of those cliffhangers where you're like, not sure if there's going to be another book, but it didn't resolve everything. So The Deck of Omens, I just finished yesterday. Oh my god. So it didn't pick up directly. So, like, the last scene doesn't correspond with the first scene. Like, there's some time that has passed. And one of the characters that was kind of not really important in the first is super important in this one. And we learn more about her character, and it's just really great to see her coming into herself. I won't go into too much detail, but she did have to learn how to set boundaries. And then the tension relationships got a little more complicated. Some resolved, some didn't resolve, and there was continued character development and a huge twist. Like, it kind of undid everything in the first book. Like, everything you thought you knew, you didn't know at all, which I love. I did start Defy the Night. It is a book about some kingdoms that are not doing so well, kind of got a rift going on. There's some, like, I just started it, but there's like some dynamics between the different kingdoms. There is that tension of who's in charge and kind of tit for tat, back and forth things. Two main characters, I don't think they called her an apothecary, but something like that. And the other one is some sort of laborer. Oh, I'm doing really good today. Anyways, the two of them are trying to steal flower petals to help the weak and the sick. What they're doing is traitorous. So they have been working together for a while, and they don't even know what each other looks like, because if one of them gets caught, they don't want to be able to give information about the other one. So far, I'm intrigued. We'll see how it goes. I do have some books from Barnes & Noble that I'm also excited about reading, and I'm not sure what order I'll do that, but I, of course, will always tell you about it and keep you posted. In terms of life on the farm, one of my sheep had sprained her ankle, so she's got some what I call co-band as a nurse, what farmers call as hoof wrap, and she seems to be doing much better. They're growing, they're happy and healthy, they've got this nice fluff and crimp, super gorgeous. So I'll try to put some pictures in here. Of course, I'm super in love, because why wouldn't I be? And family life is getting a little up, a little bit down, but I feel like in the long run, some things are starting to settle, and I look forward to kind of a little bit more peace of mind and a little less sitting on the edge of my seat. My boys have been playing basketball. They're doing really great. They're very good teams. One is on the middle school level, and one is JV level, but he will sub in for varsity from now and then. And so I've been going to a lot of games, and they're very exciting to watch. They either really, well, I guess that's not the right word. There's been a couple games where they've really, like, won hard. Then there's been a lot of games where it's been neck and neck, and you don't know until, like, the very last few seconds who's going to win. And then there's some teams that are just amazing that they have played, and we have just learned how to be humble because we have had it handed to us, which is fine. I'm a big fan of good sportsmanship, which includes losing sometimes and being okay with it and not throwing a fit, being able to use it as a learning experience. I in no way are saying that, you know, your child can't be a little upset. That's fine, but not thinking it's the end of the world, I guess, and not, like, treating the other team disrespectfully because they've won. I've been to several games this year where there has been some adults. One game, it was some coaches, which really upset me. And they don't have the good role model of good sportsmanship. There's been parents cussing out the refs. There's been parents stepping up. They've been calling kids names. They boo when the other team, like, gets a shot. Like, it's really sad because I feel like the opposing team parents and, you know, us as parents should be able to sit on the bleachers. And even if you're not one of those parents who claps for the other team, which I'm not usually, there's been some times where I'm like, wow, that was really cool, I'm going to clap for them. But I never boo for them. I don't make sounds when they're doing their foul shots. Like, I don't feel like anything is appropriate. And I feel like at the end of the day, whoever I'm sitting next to, whether they're my team or not, we should be able to be respectful for each other. And that's what I want to teach my kids. All right, that's enough rambling about good sportsmanship. So, your spice of mental health last time I was here is to spend an hour and do something that you used to do as a kid, because it will bring back that nostalgia and a little bit of inner peace. I did some coloring and some Play-Doh. I did get some modeling clay as a suggestion from my friend Alana, and I've not played with it yet. I'm not sure when I will play with it. I believe my youngest would want to do it with me, and so I don't want to use... I'm afraid of using too much clay before I invite him to play, so I think I'm going to wait until we're both ready to do it together. So this week, the mental health advice that I have for you is to journal for 10 to 15 minutes a day. And that doesn't mean you're using it as a diary format. It doesn't mean having it structured. Certainly, if you like those two things, absolutely cool. It could be just doodling. It could be free form, kind of brain dumping. It can be like a goal list. It could be a gratitude list. It could be anything you want. There is no rules. It's a really nice way to just give you that time that's kind of calming to kind of choose what you want. You don't really have to turn on your thinking brain if you don't want to. And you also are not trying to think about all the thousand things that you have to do at your family or your job. And you can just take that time to kind of breathe. So my homework for you is to do a little bit of journaling, even if it's just one day, and kind of tell me, like, not what you wrote specifically, but did you use it as diary format? Did you use it as freeform brain dump? Did you doodle? I'm just really curious to see what your journaling style is, and I will share mine next week. Thanks for watching. Bye!